Hey there, YouTube. I thought I'd make a review of NES console that I've grown quite fond of. I mean, obviously, it's not the real thing, but I like it. And the prices of real hardware NESs have gone up, like skyrocketed, actually. And I wanted a real hardware NES, and it just like the price for one is just too much now. So I decided to go with a clone. And so here's my review of the Retrobit Retro Entertainment System. Now, I've never really been too big of a fan of Retrobit. I've gotten some sketchy accessories from them before, including a NES controller that, well, sucked. But this one I'm quite impressed with. It's at least for this version of it. There's two versions of this out there. There's one that comes in this box without a game in it, and then there's a newer one that's being released out now that has a game in the console on the box art, and that's the bad one you want to avoid. This one I was actually really impressed with, and I heard good things about it because I originally bought the Retro Entertainment System with that newer revision, and it sucked. It was bad. Like, you can hear interference in the audio, and it was very annoying. This just has crystal clear audio. You can blast the audio as loud as you want, which is what I do with this radio when I hook it up to this TV. And it's just clear. I mean, sometimes I forget I'm even playing a clone. It very much works like a real NES, and that's what I like about it. Right now I have it hooked up to my... Oh! Well, I messed it up. Let's see if it works still. Well, that was bad. I tripped on the controller cable and I killed it. Let's see. For the time being. Alright, let me reinsert the cartridge and get this going again. Maybe it's not that durable, but what you expect from a clone. Okay, so I got it up and running again. Didn't take too long. Just had to reinsert the cartridge. Well, the adapter and the cartridge. And a few times, bend it a little bit back and forth, and it got going. Alright, make sure I don't trip on the cord this time. Obviously I'm using a official controller, which has a really long cord. I can put it all the way back there and sit right here next to my computer with my monitor / HD TV. I have it hooked up through composite with dual mono. This is a cord you can buy for the front loader NES. Basically, I'm gonna show the back of it actually. Basically, you can. It's white. It's yellow and red when you hook it up to the console, and it splits the red into dual mono. It's a really cool cord, very good quality. It's initially intended for the front loader. But I figured I'd use it for this. Okay, so here's my multi-cart, which is pretty awesome, to be honest. Very new too, made just like, let's see, almost 2 years old now, actually, as a matter of fact, but it's still fairly new. I got all these games, all the Mega Man games, well, Rockman, but the Rockman versions, I think, are the superior versions anyway. I'm not going to show this off entirely. That'll be on a separate video. So let me boot up Mario actually, because that's a great game to test the sound quality of clones. It looks good on the camera, but on TV, for some reason, I don't know why, with this clone, the sky is purple, but on the camera it looks good. So whatever. The video quality is actually quite nice. really. I mean, it's comparable to a top loader Nintendo. I mean, there's some jail bars. I don't know if you can make them out on the camera. They're pretty faint. Not bad. Like I said, I would compare it to, might actually even be a little bit better than a stock top loader NES. You know, when you're using RF. So out the box, the sound is not bad at all. I'm trying to play this with one hand. Let me put it up a bit. And you can tell right away when you have a bad clone just by the coin sound. And see there, it sounds just like the real thing. It's great. And what I actually did with this NES, I modded the audio line. Well, not modded. I pretty much just added a resistor to the audio line. It was suggested by Satoshi Matrix here on YouTube. What that resistor does is it gets rid of the distortion and makes it sound even more like a real Nintendo. The distortion is basically like if you do certain sound effects, such as grab a coin or I don't know, shoot stuff. It'll make the music, the volume of the music go down for a little bit and then go back up after that sound effect has played. But with the 1K ohm resistor, you don't have that problem at all, and it sounds like this. Sounds fine. Alright, so that's just Mario. Now I'm gonna hook it up to my CRT, see what it looks like on there. Okay, so now it's hooked up to my 13-inch CRT TV, and the sky is actually blue now on the TV. I guess it's maybe my LCD screen. I don't know. And it looks really good. I have to admit, it looks darn good. Maybe you can make out the jail bars just a bit. Yeah, I could see it on the camera. There's some jail bars, but they're very faint. They're not bad. Like I said, I would compare it to maybe certain versions of the front loader. I think sometimes had jail bars similar to that. I never personally noticed that. All the front loaders I've ever had never had jail bars. In the past, before, you know, long ago, before the prices of them skyrocketed. I mean, I can remember when you can just buy a Nintendo off of eBay for 20, 30 bucks. Like, nobody gave a crap about Nintendos, and this was probably like 5-10 years ago, maybe as early as 5 years ago. But anyway, I'm talking too much about that. So as you can see, the audio is very clear. I'm gonna put it up a bit. Sounds great. I mean, it sounds, and even the video quality is great. It sounds and looks just like, and works just like the real thing. There are some games that are incompatible with this. I don't actually own them. One of them being Castlevania 3. I'm not a fan of Castlevania 3. I mean, believe it or not, I'm not a fan of it. There are a lot of people who are, of course. So I don't really care that that doesn't work on this clone. And there's one real big reason why I don't care. It's because I prefer the Japanese version. And actually, this clone can be modified to have expansion audio quite easily too. Basically, you just have to wire 2 pins of the cartridge connector to the audio line, and you'll have expansion audio back. Pretty amazing for a clone. I mean, I can't confirm it. I haven't done it yet. I don't have the cart yet. I do plan on getting it and doing that mod. And maybe I'll make a future video showing it off. But yeah, that's why I don't like Castlevania 3. I prefer the Japanese version. and it will work on this console. It just needs the expansion audio. That's all. Put the audio back on, and see here I have dual mono. If I take, I don't know if the phone will pick it up. Take one out. It's just the left channel. Dual mono. Now it's just the right channel. So I think that's pretty cool with these cables. Obviously this can be done with a front loader because that's what they were made for. And that's about it. I mean, there's nothing really else to show that hasn't really been shown on YouTube already about this console. So if you are interested in buying a clone, I highly suggest this, the Retro Entertainment System. This version though, look for this box. If you see this box, this is the good version. And if you're not, if you don't have soldering skills, I'm not really great at soldering either, but it was just such an easy mod. But if you don't have a soldering iron or anything like that, the sound still sounds pretty great out the box. It'll just have some distortion. It is much better compared to the newer versions that have come out, and I highly recommend it if you're like me, who just wanted to pick up a real hardware NES but didn't want to spend like at least $50 to $80 on one now. It's ridiculous how high they've gone up, but I can understand why they have. Then yeah, just pick this up. You could also get those multi-console ones. I heard the Super Retro Trio has a pretty good NOAC, or NOAC, however you want to say it. Certain versions of them have good sound and certain versions of them have bad sound. I guess I'll finish this off by showing you my multi-cart. Put this down. Oh yeah, there is one complaint I do have about this console, is the cartridge connector can and will have its pins bent if you constantly take games in and out, which is actually why I opted for a multi-cart, so I wouldn't have to take games in and out. And I also figured I'd just get like a Famicom adapter, so that way if I do want to change games, I don't have to worry about messing up the pins on the Retron 1. So that is one big issue with this console. But you get what you pay for, so that's about it. That's the end of my review. I hope this helps anybody who's on the fence of trying to get a clone instead of, like burning their pockets for the real thing. So, that's it. Before I end this video, I thought I'd show you a quick picture of what I was talking about, the box and the revision you should avoid. It's this one. It has a cartridge and the console on the box art. This is the bad version. Avoid it. It is horrible. Believe me, I know. I had it because I didn't really know anything about, clones. I just picked one up, thought it would be great. I heard good things about this particular clone and thought, hey, I'll just pick it up and it should be fine. But no, there are 2 revisions of it, and this is the bad revision. So if you plan on buying it, avoid this one.